morning, and what a privilege it is for me to be speaking in front of you this morning. I am a cancer survivor. I am the founder of an organization called, as Steve mentioned, now called Ed Randall's Fans for the Cure. And we just completed our 8th year of doing prostate cancer awareness days and nights all across the minor leagues as an official charitable partner of minor league baseball, where we handed out the materials that I just left with each of you. I hope all of you got it. We did 172 ballparks in 44 states, our 8th year, because minor league baseball, where I spent 7 years, is, as far as I'm concerned, an unserved constituency. For those of you who don't know my background, I have been broadcasting for longer than you've been alive, including this morning at 5 a.m. on Sirius XM Radio, where I co-host a nostalgia baseball show Saturday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, or 5 to 7 when you're here in Arizona, with the great Rico Petrocelli. For those of you who may not know who Rico Petrocelli is, he was one of the great Boston Red Sox players of the 60s into the mid-70s, and in fact, they thought so highly of him that he was one of just a handful of Red Sox that were on the field this past Sunday when they honored Derek Jeter. My story is very simple. 47 years old, go for a routine annual physical. Thought it was going to be routine. And the next day my doctor calls me. My doctor had never called me, ever. John calls and says, "Boy, you know, your PSA is really high." Now, at this point in time, I've been broadcasting a number of years, and my only definition of PSA is, repeat after me, public service announcement. I've got no idea what he's talking about, but in fact, he's saying this is an indicia for prostate cancer. Wow. But he said, you know, the lab may have screwed up. Come back, let's take another blood test. We'll send it to another lab. I did, he did, and the results of the second test were exactly those of the first. I had cancer. I had a lot of cancer. But through God's grace, I got what I call a second at bat at life. And I survived. And I came to this realization when I went into my two favorite words in the English language, in remission, right up there with Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday, that on the day in which I was diagnosed, I felt like I feel, having the privilege of talking to all of you right now. I was fine, because prostate cancer has no symptoms. So, I came to the realization there could be tens, hundreds, thousands, millions of American men out there like me walking around feeling fine, thinking they were fine, when in fact they were time bombs, because prostate cancer has no symptoms. So I founded this 501c3 charity immediately thereafter, dedicated to the proposition of spreading the twin gospels of prostate cancer awareness and the life-saving value of early detection, which saved my life. This is extremely important for these reasons. There is an epidemic in this country, and it's called prostate cancer. It is the most diagnosed non-skin cancer in this country. In the time in which I am speaking, 4 men will be diagnosed in this country with prostate cancer. When you guys hit the field to begin your AFL games on Tuesday, in the time in which it takes you to play that game, 72 men in this country will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 9 others will die. 1 every inning that you play. In this calendar year, in 2014, 240,000 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 30,000 will die. All of you are here because of your incredible statistics that you have amassed throughout your lives. We are baseball people. We live and die with statistics. Here are the statistics. 1 in 6 Caucasian men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. If he is Latino, 1 in 5. If he is African American, where tragically the incidence of prostate cancer is 2 to 3 times higher than it is in the white community, 1 in 4. Breast cancer, 1 in 8. A man is 33% more likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer than a woman is breast cancer. I'll say that again. A man is 33% more likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer than a woman is breast cancer. We have more cases, we have more deaths. That's a pink world out there. And God bless the women for what they've done the last 30 years. But it is now our turn to build an army, our turn to build a brotherhood, and that's why I am here before you this morning. This is incredibly important. This is about the men in your family. All of you have come from college or high school where you had homework. I'm going to give you homework in a moment. To satisfy the guidelines for prostate cancer awareness, our charity advocates that for men 40 years of age and older, that annually, every year, they consult with their doctor and take a PSA blood test and a digital rectal exam that will save their life. I know that if I said to you, time for all of us to go have digital rectal exams now, we're not going to be running for the door. I got that. But it's flawless. The owner of the Tampa Bay Rays lives up the road from me in Westchester County, outside New York City, where I reside, Stu Sternberg, and we have, through his kindness, done free screenings at the Tampa Bay Rays. This is Chuck Haynes, and that's his granddaughter, Sophia. And a few years ago, Chuck Haynes came to our screening at the ballpark in Tampa Bay. For some reason, the PSA didn't pick up the prostate cancer. The digital rectal exam did. It's flawless. You need to tell the men in your family, your fathers, your stepfathers, your older brothers, your uncles, your grandfathers, this from me. That they are loved, they are wanted, they are needed, and they are cherished. And they have a responsibility to go to the doctors. Those of you who played in the minor leagues this past year were so kind to wear my sweatbands on the nights in which we were doing prostate cancer awareness nights in your ballpark. I worked 3 jobs. I worked on WFAN in New York for 12 years. I hosted the top-rated show in my time slot called Ed Randall's Talking Baseball. I've been doing that for 12 years on what is the nation's first all-sports radio network. I work on Saturday mornings with Rico Petrocelli on Sirius XM. I also work at MLB.com, where I work in the multimedia department. I don't get to as many games as I'd like to, especially when we do 172 in a season. I get to where I can get to in the Northeast. And I am sick and tired of men walking by my table when we want to hand them what we've just handed you. I'm scared, I don't want to know, or I'm fine. I'm fine is my favorite because I was fine when I was diagnosed with cancer. Get the picture? No symptoms. 230,000 men in this country being 240,000 men being diagnosed every year. 30,000 dying. Those are suicides as far as I'm concerned. Before I leave, I'm interested in knowing this. Who in this room has had a family member affected by prostate cancer? Raise your hands. I need to, anybody else? I need to see, please see me later. Please see me later. We need ambassadors. The breast cancer movement is multi-generational. That's why I'm here. All right? I'm an old guy. We need to make this multi-generational. The women in your family, your sisters, your aunts, your mothers, your grandmothers, learned about their breasts when they were little girls. Little boys, not happening. We need an army. We need to make this multi-generational. And I need your support. I am the only CEO you're ever going to meet who hopes to go out of business. I hope that by the time you guys finish working out this afternoon, I hope there's a cure for prostate cancer. Truly I do. In which case, I'm out of business. Until then, I am the car alarm you cannot turn off. There is nothing I'm going to do on the air the rest of my life that's more important than this. Nothing. You and I are going to change behavior. You and I are going to change American history. You and I are going to save lives, once and for all. We are going to take our place beside the great women in this country that have made breast cancer a national cause. Dr. King spoke about it, the fierce urgency of now. Now, in 2014, not in 2016, not in 2018, not in 2020, because men are dying of prostate cancer. Your friends, your family members, people that you know, dying of prostate cancer. No more. We are going to light a light that everybody is going to be drawn to. A simple PSA blood test saved my life. And that's why I'm here to talk to you this morning and have this incredible privilege by this wonderful man, Steve Cobb, allowing me to talk to all the teams in this league. Do it for yourselves. Do it for your families. Don't do it for me. I spent 7 years in minor league baseball. Last thing, I spent 7 years in minor league baseball. I started in Elmira, New York, in the New York Penn League. And we had an elderly league president there named Vince McNamara. And he referred to the players to me as touched by God. You truly are. You were incredibly special. I, in my small way, feel that after having survived prostate cancer, I too was touched by God. All of you were stars. I pray that all of you go to the major leagues and become big stars there as well. Until then, I need you to be my stars. I'd like to talk to the people. Please remember to see me later so I can stay in touch with you and find out information about those that you know that were affected by prostate cancer. And I just wanted to leave you with this. If we save one life, we're batting 1,000. I can't thank you enough for your attention, and I wish all of you the very best of success in the AFL and for years to come, and thank you so much.
So Mark Savington with Los Angeles Angels, and yeah, you came in, I think minor league camp back in February or early March, and kind of just gave a presentation. So I think it was Bats for the Cure then, and then now it's kind of progressed into Fans for the Cure, right? So no, but I got the packet, and I called, talked to my dad, talked to a couple uncles, and my grandfather. And I know my dad went and got the exam, you know, in his yearly physical, and I know some of the other members of the family have done the same. And luckily, they have not had cancer, but a good friend of mine and a coach back in, I think it was 13 or 14, so probably 2003, 2004, named Gary Pearl, and yeah, he stopped me at a high school football game, told me he just beat cancer. I think he had stage 3, if I'm right, and it was prostate cancer, but they caught it, and they just had the operation, and boom, and he got rid of it. So he's good, he's clean, and I think it had been about a month before that, and shoot, man, so that was pretty cool, because I mean, I immediately thought of you and thought of the organization. You know, it's powerful because he was a big part of my baseball life, and so it's always cool to see the impact. And those people, it is important to have them around and keep them around forever, as long as they can, especially for something so easy to prevent if you just kind of push your ego aside and say, hey, I'm doing this for other people, not I don't have to be all macho. It's more macho to actually get the exam than it is to. So, cool, man.
It's great.